What's up, folks? Drew Casaccio here, going by Cappuccino. Let's Talk Local is one of our new shows. We're here at the Mathnasium today with Phil Wallace. My man Phil here is an author, coach, personal coach, basketball coach, deals with a lot of the inner youth. We're here today at Future Fest with the Mathnasium.
This is awesome.
Isn't this great?
This is fantastic.
We're going to be live most of the day. We got Mike Krejci behind the booth here today. You can't see him. He's got the face for radio. Just kidding. So we're going to have a lot of fun today. I think we're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to do some interviews. We're going to talk to some kids.
We're going to get some food because it smells delicious.
Oh man, I'm telling you, and we're right by the door, so
that's gonna start drooling. Nothing's gone wrong. It's just every time the door opens.
And so I think, what is it out there? Sticks and noodles? Is that what it is?
Faux food, and it's delicious. Filipino food.
So there'll be an intermission point to where we just kind of stop this and just to kind of give you a heads up. We'll throw another view up there. Mike, can we get another view just to kind of give them an idea for people walking in and out?
Shout out to the Jesus family for the Filipino food they had for the graduation party.
Oh yeah, that's pretty hot. Yeah, no doubt. I'm all about that cultural food, man. And it shows. I have that. That's right. I'm not afraid of it. There it is. There's our other view. So we'll have do some walkarounds. We're gonna put some kids on the spot today and see if we can have them do some of this, give some interviews and talk to the people in the public from 21 Creator Studios. So I'm excited.
Absolutely. Good turnout. Just excited to see all the different companies came out there. People work with the community. Brenda, our friend from the break, is here as well. So you got
Teen Center. And that's right. That's right.
And Crystal Lake. Good old Crystal Lake. Oh, wise, smart, sophisticated people from Crystal Lake. I'm not one of them, but
well, I wouldn't say it like that. But
people though.
But so tell me a little bit about the basketball program that you have.
So basketball program, A to Z Basketball Elite. It's my uncle's program. I'm the program director on the boys side. Love what I get a chance to do there. We take a lot of talent from the local area, a lot of McHenry, Huntley, Crystal Lake kids. We do get some Naperville as well, and just full circle development as far as like skills, basketball IQ, youth mentorship as well. So like the mental side of the game as well. So I love the fact we get a chance to be that ear and that voice during that phase where like self-image and confidence and people skills and stuff like that are so needed, and just the mental aspect of the game, right? You made a mistake, so you take it personally, and that's who you are. So we really get a chance to build up the confidence and build the game at the same time.
And you're able to move forward from it, right?
And we love it, right? Because you see the kids who couldn't make eye contact with you a year ago or years from now, so they're having fun, joking, speaking out confidently. A year and a half, 2 years later, you're like, I had some sort of role in that.
Yeah. Well, and so I think somebody mentioned, it might have even been you, that you hand out books.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't allow them to play. If they want to play on your court, there's a certain criteria, right?
So I've been fortunate enough to develop a relationship with the MCC and the ECC teams and some of my college kids. And for my college kids to come to the youth mentorship part, you don't get a chance to hoop unless you've read some of the book, right? Because I don't coach dumb players.
That's right. I love it.
And so it's been fun to be able to watch kids who come from Chicago and that side of Milwaukee, or just wherever they're from, and like, oh, coach, Drew's going to be with us this time, but I told him he's got to get one of his books, and you just watch them go to the backpack, get a book for their friend, whether it's John Maxwell, Napoleon Hill, anything like that, and understand, okay, this is what I got last year. The first time reading some of these books, like, yo, coach, man, I was thinking, talking about my average of my 5 association, I ain't doing too good.
Well, that's good, because then now you're broadening the horizon, right? Broadening, I don't even know if that's a word, so I should probably read a book. But so what I really love about that is basketball is a great sport, right? And a lot of the kids, everybody wants to be a Jordan. Right, everybody wants to be out there. They want to be a superstar, and you're like, yeah, you can do that, but you also need to do this because this is your life, right? It doesn't have to be about balling.
Basketball is a tool, right? It's going to allow you to get doors opened up for you, make those connections, and get your education paid for. Right? If you become Jordan, fantastic. But eventually, Jordan, LeBron, whatever your career looks like, the ball's going to stop bouncing eventually. And just myself personally, when the ball stopped bouncing, who was I? So we want to be on the front end of that. Hey, whenever it does, I want you to take it as far as it's going to go for you, big dog. But when that time does come, who are you without this? Now, first and foremost, I need to know that you are someone
Right.
without this.
Right.
Who is that person? Where do you want to go with this? Okay, so why are you picking this college? Man to girls? No. Right? You go over the road. What's your major going to be? Do they have access to the people who donate? Right? Are you going to get a relationship with them? Great. So do the internship in the summertime, so that way when you graduate, you got an 80K job before you wind up graduating. Right. And so we're getting a chance to have those conversations on the front end versus it's very common for athletes to kind of be depressed after the game stops for them. But if we understand, no, this is just where the transition, I'm already prepared for this. And really kind of like what we're doing with DCCS is not just where do you want to work once the ball stops around, hey bro, what do you want to create?
I love that.
What business do you want to create? Because with Drew, with Mike, with Kent, we have the resources.
Yeah.
So it's not a could we. What do you want to do? And you get a chance to see wheels turning. And, sometimes kids be shooting, hey, coach, what do you think about if we did?
Yeah.
Man, that's totally cool that you're thinking like an entrepreneur now.
Well, and so, when I coach with kids, I'm mentoring a young man right now. And one of the things is, you want to throw enough stuff at the wall. You run with what sticks. And I get that. Sometimes it's always about the who, not the how, right? So who do you want to be? And then how do you add that to society? And then that way you're part of that network. And then all those other gaps are filled in by the rest of the network. Right.
We had Greg and Jackie on the show 2 weeks ago. One of the things they ask people all the time, and I love this question, it's not what do you want to do, it's how do you want to live? Right. Because when you say, what do you want to do? Now I got to fit into this box. And there might be some limitations on how I want to live that this box doesn't really provide. Mm-hmm. If I want a Ferrari, but I work at ABC company, they pay $15 an hour, you're not getting that Ferrari. Hey, brother. How are you, man? Good to see you, man. Nice to meet you. It is down there. That's Andy. We're gonna get a chance to meet him later on.
We're gonna be talking to him as well.
When you ask how do you want to live, now the kids are like, okay, coach, I want to do sports medicine, but I want to be able to travel. But I want to be able to have my family around and when okay, so now you're being able to shape what you want to do for the full package. Well, let me answer this, Drew. You want to make $1 million, but no time with the kids. No time with your spouse? Well, probably not. Okay, so then we got to figure out how that makes
think about that.
Right.
No, just kidding.
It's my mind. Sometimes,
and one of the lessons I teach too is whatever you do for a living isn't your life.
Right.
You live life. What you do for a living is just part of it.
Right.
What games you play is just part of it. So you have to be well-rounded. You have to polish those corners on everything that you do.
And we get a chance to have those conversations because I made you or it helps you become, I didn't make you do anything, it helps you become a better version of yourself. Fantastic. If you can articulate this better version of yourself to Mike over there, who can hire you, then we'll never know how great you can be.
Mike will never hire me.
He's like, what? He said Mike will never hire me.
It's such a delay. I can't. It's so weird. Like you guys are talking at the delay from this.
Oh, I bet. I'm watching it too, and there's a delay on the film.
I love it, like Chinese subtitles.
I will place right. Get ready with the red button. Beep, 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 beep.
But so we build those skills where we might have a middle school kid teach the ball handling to the high school kids. Hey man, you got to lead today. Now you're speaking in front of a group. Well, now you got to speak to a hiring manager. You're comfortable because you've been doing this since 7th, 8th grade. You're able to speak to people further ahead than you because you've been doing this since you're in elementary school. Great. Now public speaking, you're talking and articulating yourself. Hey, what are you good at? What do you mean? No.
Right.
Say it with your right. What no
Put your head up.
What's something no one else can tell you? Man, when it comes to the XYZ coach, I'm the baddest bum bitch ever.
That's right.
EQ.
Yeah.
On the college level, bro. That's who you are. Know that. Because that's what people are going to be buying from you. Not the weak version of yourself.
No. As a matter of fact, in any business, no matter what you do, you're a salesman. No matter what it is that you do, because your product or your business follows who you are as a person. You're selling yourself as an honest person that's trustworthy. Then why would they go outside of you? Right?
This is what you get when I come
100%. Right. I love it.
And the task is just to buy a product, but this is what you get.
This is what you get. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So if you had any advice to give the youngsters out there, what is that advice?
I would definitely say, and I know that it doesn't sound like the kids say old head, right? It sounds like old head. I would say read as much as possible, right? Because it gets you well rounded. If you don't feel like reading, they have Audible now, so just wake up, press play. While working out, press play, keep a headphone in. I'll be getting these books because there's so many times when I get a chance to talk to hiring managers or VPs or whatever. And I walk into an office, I head tilt because I'm looking at their book collection. Yep. And I'm like, oh, 5 Levels of Leadership, John Maxwell. I love that book. Oh, you've read it? Now I'm in. That's right. Right? Or being able to understand the personality. Now I'm in. I would say press play and I would say network. I would say network strategically. And I'm super excited. LGMC is having me speak next September 26th to the youth side of the LGMC.
Oh, that's awesome.
And have me touch on the importance of networking because it makes it so much easier when you're like, hey, I know someone here from, and you are a quality product. They want to hire you. They want to open it. Hey, I don't make those decisions, Phil. But Mike does. Hey, Phil, let me introduce Mike real quick. Okay, nice to meet you, Mike. Blah, blah, blah. Phil Ross. And Mike asked the person who I built great rapport with. Now I'm in. So I network strategically, press play as much as possible, and be very, 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 very careful and deliberate.
Correct.
And what you are saying to yourself consistently. That'd be my 3.
I love it. I love it. You know, going back to be careful what you say consistently. Listen, everybody, there's ups and downs. We have a yin and yang. No matter how you look at it, there's always a little bit of good and bad, a little bit of bad and good. What would you say on how to keep this? So everything's a mindset.
Right.
See, I used to search for happiness.
Right.
I don't do that anymore.
Okay.
I want to be useful. Not necessarily happy follows. If you're useful, you get follows, right? So with the stress of today and the kids, there seems to be a large amount of anxiety that they're going through, and we went through COVID, which triggered it even more, and everything else. What is the balance? What's a great way to balance in your mind as a personal coach and dealing with a lot of kids?
Right.
What is that balance? How do you get to that balance? Just to stay in the middle, because you have to experience both, right?
I think that, and like you're saying, and kind of Greg and Jackie talked about a lot 2 weeks ago, where the bad is going to happen. But the bad is not just a complete destination. It's a phase that you're going to go through.
That's right.
And you're not wrong or tainted or diluted if you have a bad. Now, and I like to spin it this way. The game is, can I shorten up the duration of the bad? Okay, I was sad yesterday or last time for 3 days. Can I be sad for 2? Can I be sad for 1? Can I be sad for 4 hours this time instead of 8 hours this time?
Yeah.
Right? And then at the same time, I found when I was getting to building myself, the faster I took my eyes off of me and onto someone else, the faster my happiness was restored. So just be transparent. When I was getting to the point like personal development and stuff like that, I would feel the bad, but I would post the good. I would feel the bad, but I would quote the good. And then what would happen is you would be like, Phil, bro, I needed that quote today. Feel better.
Right.
And then the next time I post it up, man, that got me through my Tuesday. So now I'm pressing play and I'm getting that information and I'm just sharing that information and I'm seeing that, man, having this, doing this the right way.
So as you're building the mindset, it's readjusting your mindset at the same time by the feedback for what you put out.
Absolutely.
I love it.
And then when you get a chance to do that, so the other game is, because people will say, like, I'm not just going to pretend, I'm going to be realistic. I'm going through these things. Oh, absolutely. Be realistic. See a realistic phase with a victory ending. I have these bills, but this is how they're going to get paid. I missed this shot, but I'm going to start shooting 500 jump shots a day. I didn't make the team, but I'm going to bust my butt for the rest of the summer. Cool. Talk about your circumstances, cool, if you have to, but make sure that you're verbally planting the right seed. So plant that seed of victory at the end of that sentence.
I love that.
And it's fun watching a 6th grader learn that. Where he's like, I missed that shot, but I know that I can get better at my left-handed layups, and it's not. There we go.
Nice.
Buddy. There we go.
I love that. You know, that's folks. Hey, try that. Try that with your kids.
Right.
You know, show them that. We're just trying to improve the world, and if we have to do it one person at a time, then that's what we'll do.
Find that face.
And I'm all about that. Just the same, you know. So yeah, Mathnasium. Future Fest, Algonquin. You know, we have the police here for a good reason.
For good reason.
Right, good reasons. We have the fire department here. We have the military here. I mean, down this line here, there's just tons of interesting folks and people, and we're going to get to them today, and put out a little bit of great information to the public.
It's right. Fantastic people, man.
Yep. So I'm thinking, there's a teen center. You're part of that teen center, and it's called the Break. Why don't you talk about that a little bit? Where is that at?
So the Break is on Crystal Lake, right and left to Hobby Lobby. If you guys have been there, right off of 14. And unless you see it, sometimes you might miss it. Right, it's kind of ducked off in that corner. But amazing people. What they're trying to do is just give an opportunity for kids to have an outlet, right? A positive place to feel inclusion, not to feel outcasted, and to try to pull out that creativity. I'm super thankful for what you're doing as far as coming on board and helping out as well with some of the ideas. Things such as this, right? Partnering with the Math Museum, making sure that, hey, I came here for inclusion at the same time. Let me get better different aspects, or whether that's music, whether that's being artistic, whether that's learning a skill or a trade, that's coming down the line, whether it's being able to do a podcast. So I love the fact that this is transitioning.
Oh, there she is.
Come on in. The weather's fun.
Thank you.
That is perfect.
It's good to see you, Brenda.
He was asking me a great question. So we're just talking about it. And I was like, well, who better? Some of you, okay, she's in. Some of you may recognize this face. It's from Annapolis. She's been on Breeding Civil Tension in 21-6 a few times, twice, maybe once.
Once.
Yeah. Had a fantastic show. Great reviews. You guys do amazing things.
Thank you.
Well, she's an amazing person.
She really is.
You know.
She's a trooper.
She brightens my day when I just call her about things that say like, oh, I can't do that today. But the way she communicates, she answered the phone. You were riding a bike,
I was
or
biking.
you were biking, and so I felt lazy, right?
25 miles?
Yeah.
Oh, 20.
That's she's like, I was biking around the neighborhood. No. This is Brenda.
I was out of breath getting in this chair.
Now, what's crazy is if it's her husband and he's just biking, it's across Iowa.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I heard.
That was impressive. He did 520 miles in a week across Iowa, and that really week that we had.
Hottest week of this.
Like one of the days, the index was 118, and I felt like the worst wife ever because I was like, I can't go with you. I can't go be supportive. I got to stay here because I've been on vacation.
Well, someo's got to stay alive at that point.
Someone's got to tell the story, Tom.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? Someone's got to tell the story. Right. You don't get on the same planes, right? I mean, that's how that works, right? So, you know, Brenda, we're talking about the break a little bit.
Yeah.
And we love, I love the concept of the break. And Phil was just kind of giving a breakdown and discussion of what you guys do there. You're the founder of it. So how did you come up with it? Was there a need? And what are we looking at doing moving forward?
Okay, great questions. So I am the founder. Well, I am the co-founder. So this project, I guess you'll call it, this program is a result of a mom picking her sophomore up from South High School. And all of his friends would just pile into my car. And as they were, piling into the car, you do the typical, discussions. And they started telling me what they wanted to see. These were very creative kids. They're very intelligent kids. They didn't necessarily join all of the sports at school. We had a couple in band, we had a couple in honor society, but they weren't jumping right in. So at that very same time, we learned that my oldest son has substance use disorder. So we had to navigate that because we had no clue. We were about the most typical suburban family, in my opinion.
Right.
Before that, we didn't know what to do. So we navigated it, and always looking for ways to get through it. But we also knew that something needed to change for the kids. There needed to be some options for the kids if they didn't want to do those things. And so these kids, the most interesting part of the whole story was, I was like, okay, let's start a coffee shop. I think I told you it was going to look like a Roma. I was like, okay, it's great. But the kids had other ideas, and they started bringing me, they didn't know they were bringing me models of teen centers, but they did. And one was in Grace Lake. And the other one was Ann Arbor, Michigan. So we started looking at that. And then one particular sophomore at the time, Adam Kleinard, got in the car and said, "So did you start your not-for-profit? Like, what are we doing?"
Wow.
I said,
Wow.
I said, "Oh, okay."
He's all about the
yeah."
business. He's about the business on that one.
I was cool. No. Where's the 501?
Trivia, right now you can apply for a 501c3 and probably get through the process pretty quickly. But at that time, they had changed a lot of the rules. So it was taking 6 months to a year to get the whole thing through. So long story short, just through the community, I'm a runner. I think you guys know that. And when you run 20 miles with people, you learn a lot about people.
Sure.
And yeah, I don't do it anymore, Phil. I used to do this.
Right. I haven't learned people that well then because I can't do the 20-mile run yet.
It's a short conversation. Phil.
Right.
Phil,
Right.
you're a sprinter. I just need to run more miles. I can run slower.
I bring my Kirby and I'm right alongside you.
Segue.
I get
So,
it. Right. Right.
Bring me water.
I would do that.
spin in circles.
Yeah.
You guys keep up.
Right.
So the best part of the runner story is they had such an integral part of helping us put it together because I ran with electricians, I ran with city workers, I ran with just about everybody that we needed to put this project.
A great network,
together.
yeah.
Yeah. And there was a city worker who really worked hard to find us our location. And they waited. That was just an amazing opportunity. So we got in our current location, which is 6292 Northwest Highway, Crystal Lake Lobby, and then the kids went in. And they helped decorate it. They helped
Love
put
it.
it together, painting it. It doesn't look like a Roma. You know what Tom says. It looks like somebody's basement. They love furniture. They love
That's
to
all right.
rotate the furniture.
It's like that 70s show where they're all hanging out in the basement.
Exactly.
Okay, but there's certain things they're
With
not
computers.
doing.
With computers. And
Right.
there's no
With
crowded
clean
room.
air.
There's a
Clean
music
air.
room.
Right.
And clean air.
Yeah. Yeah.
Making sure
Yeah. Is it? And back that one up. That's all good.
they did a really good job. Like the ceiling tiles.
Yeah.
Kids were able to be creative and do their each one had their
Yeah.
own and they drawn pictures and artwork and things like that. Like
Well, and that's just it. So it's their comfort zone. So it's the basement where everybody hangs out at the house, right? And that's kind of an interesting part because now it's a home away from home, where they can go, they can relax, they can have do things, and then be in programs at the same time.
And really, it's a connection.
It
You
is.
know, so some of those kids that were getting into my car, this was my youngest son, my older two boys, they actually did play sports. They were, all the way through their childhood, all of them very creative. My younger son was not interested in these things. And so a lot of his friends that were getting in the car, I found out later. And one of them stood up in public and said, I get in the car and she'd ask me about my day. She actually cared. That's pretty powerful to me. And I did care. I mean, sorry, you hang with teens, they're going to make you laugh too.
That's right.
So
That's right.
They're part of your day.
Yeah.
So the connection piece, that sense of community is the foundation of what we do. We offer opportunities as often as we can. 10 years in, our energies change. Sometimes we have go-getter, we want to do this. Sometimes we have kids who, we had a set of kids that were more into gaming, things like that. So we have gaming tournaments. We
Yes.
throw those together.
That's fun.
Right now, we have a lot of kids interested in some entrepreneurial type of things,
Nice.
including making dog treats. That seems to be a big deal. And the podcasts that we talk about. So we give the opportunities, but it's directed by them.
I love it.
We're very fortunate. For the first several years, we were community supported. We had very few grants. Nobody wanted to throw us out there, to support a hangout for kids. But we are supervised. We always have 2 staff members. And right now we have a mental health professional staff members, prevention and wellness. So anytime something might come up, we are able to keep an eye on it. If there's a resource that's needed,
That's awesome.
we can get that taken care of.
So, and listen, I was sports ball. That's you, right? I was the opposite. I was the comic book kid, right? I was in the only sports I was in was martial arts. A lot of that was forced in because of the neighborhood I come from, but we didn't have a spot. We didn't have that connection. So you're able to let other kids who have that scenario come together and maybe even the team effort, right?
Yeah.
It gives them that opportunity to get that same euphoric feeling that a sports kid would be going through and building those relationships with other kids, friendships and everything else. So if they're not doing or into that, you've created a place, which is fantastic, that brings that together.
But to that point, my husband is sports, football. And
Sure.
the thing he loves about football and he misses about that, it was just the locker room, just that locker room banter and
Yeah.
things like that. We need that.
Yeah.
We need more of that.
Yeah, I agree.
think. In our community, we have a million opportunities. We have a lot of parents who can provide a lot of different things for kids,
Sure.
but we're also siloing. We're not coming together. And I think the more opportunities we can have for that community connection, we get the kids out as often as possible. We had a group of kids out at Bunker Hill Charities cleaning up after the event. People were a little messy, but they didn't complain once. They thought it was pretty cool. So that giving back is important as well.
What role do you think your ability for you and your staff to make that connection and show that care with the kid? What do you think role has that played as far as getting that transparency with the youth so that I feel comfortable saying, hey, this is where I'm at, cards on the table, this is how I'm feeling, so that you can then provide those resources for the kid?
We're truth tellers.
I love it.
They trust us. We're truth tellers. So they come in, they know they're with somebody who's authentic at all times. And we wouldn't be there. We now have staff, but we didn't have staff. It was run by myself. I'm a volunteer still. And volunteers who were so committed to this, they wouldn't do it if they didn't care.
Yeah.
And those connections, and we've been blessed by the best people, and we continue to be. The biggest thing that we're working on now is that we are evolving. So we were fully community supportive. Mental health board actually came in and said, okay, this is a hangout, but we see why it's important. So now they're funding us.
That's awesome.
Prevention and wellness piece, which has spiraled out into other opportunities. Collaboration is everything for us. We are not a counseling center, we are not a fix-it center, but we know everything. If something comes up, we know where to get you to. And just like what Phil just said, why would they even trust us? Because they're authentic and they know we're truth tellers.
Is there a criteria for any kid can join?
Any kid can join. So it's called, the official name is Crystal Lake Teen Center NFP, just because the break name was started doing business as was taken.
Okay.
And that name came out with a car ride with my son, my youngest son. There is a sober bar in Crystal Lake that has the AA base, the other side.
The other side.
And my middle son
Those guys are great.
was instrumental in the first other side, breaking down the walls and building it up. And so we were going to partner with them initially. And it didn't work out just with the timing in their facility. And I'm glad too, because that puts a different spin on
Sure.
things. But the name came from Break On Through to the Other Side.
I love that.
Song.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's a show that's about to happen here in 21. So I've been talking to the other side guys over there that opened up the facility for
Chris Jacobs.
to have a show. Yeah, those are great guys.
Guys, they all have a lot of fun. It's real.
So man, so much connectivity here, and in the community here that we're local to. I feel that if you don't know about the break, what's the website? Where do they go to look at it?
Okay, www.clbreak.com. It's very simple.
Nice.
Go to the website. Our hours are on there. My email is brenda@clbreak.com, and I have Andrew Green here. Hopefully you guys get a chance to talk to him. He's our prevention and wellness director, and he's also an educator. And his resume is very long. So he has all the skills. He knows how to work with teenagers and get his spin on things as well. His phone number is on the website as well. My number is 815-557-6734. It's everywhere. It's my personal number. Everyone has it. It's just the way it works.
Right.
Starting it.
She loves calls at midnight. So do not do that, folks. Do not do that.
If I wasn't necessarily, let's say, 12, 15 years old, maybe I'm 18, 19, how would I be able to get help with the break?
Ooh, good question.
With the break, or you guys do anything with that?
That is such a great question. So there's two parts to that. So as our kids were graduating from high school, not all of them went to college, or even when they went to college, they wanted to come back and hang out. Not all of them.
Which is fine.
It is fine because some people would go into work, go into the trades, MCC, but they needed to come back still too. They loved it. They loved that sense of connection and family that they get there. So we created a volunteer program for those kids. And so we train them. There's leadership, there's drama training, but question, persuade, refer, which which is a suicide gatekeeper prevention
Nice.
program. That's very important because as we're getting conversations with kids, our volunteers and our kids need to know when to get it out of their hands and into somebody
Correct.
professional's hands.
Yep.
We do Narcan training, which is opioid reversal training. We have never had a drug problem at the break. It's personal to me. I lost my son from a fentanyl overdose in 2019, so it is my personal opinion that everybody carries Narcan at all times.
Sure.
You don't know when you'll see someone who might need it. You will never harm someone for using it.
Sure.
So that's another training that we do. And we're also harm reduction.
Wow.
So Narcan is harm reduction, condoms are harm reduction. They're just there. Kids can come by and they can get those. Along with that, we have opportunities for education to do that as well. So our volunteers are trained. And then as we've expanded, not all of our volunteers, the people who came back, needed to be in that niche, but we had some young adults still falling through the cracks, some homelessness. Unplanned pregnancy, some things like that. So now we have open for young adult hours, primarily Thursday evenings and then on Saturdays. So that's 18 to 26. The reason 26 is the number is because that's when kids come off of their parents' insurance and they have to gain their own. So we try to do anything we can to help them get those resources to get their insurance.
That's good.
So we still keep the connections and we still are providing resources to get people on their feet. That's some pretty awesome success stories for our young adults. Just because they're 18 doesn't mean they're grown and flown.
Right.
So
Wow. That's, so you're doing the Lord's work. I love it. It's, you've created such a vast variety. So you mentioned volunteer program. And I'm sure there's always room for more volunteers on that, correct?
yes, thank you.
So yeah, let's put that out there. Hey, if you want to make a difference, or you're looking to help make a difference, reach out, give Brenda a call. There's a program and probably some kind of directory or listing that they can get on to where you will have a conversation with them. And listen, training is training. If you can get free training out of it as well, and now you're really making a difference. You want to do something for your community. You want to give back to your community. You just don't know how to do it. This is a great start. Reach out, become part of it. And I know that even with Phil, with the basketball stuff, it comes back around. If you have a kid that loves basketball but needs to talk to somebody about where they want to be and where they want to go, Phil's the guy to do that. So, and you can even get a hold of Phil through the break because he is obviously part of it.
He's a board member.
That's
He's
right.
a director.
That's right. He's kind of a big deal.
And a plug for coaches.
Yeah.
Anybody out there that's an adult working with these kids or even coming in contact, because you have the opportunity to be that truth teller, to be
Correct.
that trusted adult that they may come to.
Yeah. Transparency is key.
Coaches have those great opportunities if they have their eyes out.
Yeah.
It's so fun because once they see that they have your heart, you can get their ear.
Oh yeah.
And once you can get their ear, now you can guide, coach, mentor, and shoot straight. I don't think that's the best way. Have that transparency as listen, I think that this is the time we need to get help.
I agree.
As a friend.
Yep.
And they'll listen to you because you're giving them the heart first.
And if they don't listen, then you're still a safe place to come back to when their plan didn't work. They can come back. Plan B, right?
And so how
You're
many?
not gonna get
CDZ.
I'm not gonna get look who came across. Now this is gonna be, I promise.
You weren't gonna get that. Sold yourself, right? So my mother,
Groveling my feet.
my mother was an educator of 42 years in the Catholic school system. So there's really no money. But she was the hardcore teacher. She was like, "Give me your problem, kids. I want to make a difference," and this is where I got it from. And so one of her biggest things was, if you're going to educate children, it doesn't have to be a teacher. It doesn't have to be somebody certified. Life experience dictates a lot, just as much as opening a book. Because when they go real world, that's where it really comes into play. And developing the character you want to be and the life that you want to revolve in. So places like the break, folks, that's what they're doing. They're saying, hey, we're here to listen to you. You know, maybe you're not getting that elsewhere, or even if you are, throw another opinion at it. You can never have too many mentors, never.
Agreed.
And if they have a group of volunteers along with Brenda and Phil, then you get like 5 or 6 mentors in a shot that all have different perspectives in life that maybe syncs to how you want to be or how you want to live. So reach out. I think it's a really important thing that if you feel that you want to be part of the community and you want to give back, become a volunteer. If you have kids and they're just not aware that the break is there, now you do. Reach out, come join them. You know, it's a great time. I know they got some new programs coming up too that sound pretty exciting, including doing this.
That's right.
You know, 21-6 Creator Studios are throwing their hat in the ring.
On the street, true.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to teach you how to build it. We're going to show you, and you're going to run it on your own.
We love it.
Yep.
I think one last thing, just as far as like support and people who are volunteering, support looks different. Like it may not be you coming to the break 3, 4, 5 times a week.
Sure.
It may be dropping off food. It may be donating a couch or a video game system or a TV. It may look a lot of different ways. It may be, hey, I don't not every single day, but I saw on the website you guys have this event and you help work the event.
That's right.
It's going to look different by people's circumstances, financial situation, whatever the case may be. But if you feel called to help, ask how. Hey, this is my schedule, or this is what I could do. I have this equipment. What do you guys need?
Right.
I love that, Phil, because that's spot on. I mean, we need people sometimes to help with events, planning events, fundraising events. There are people, that is their wheelhouse. That's their skill
Yeah,
set.
that's our skill set.
It is
Yep.
their skill set. We need that in the biggest way to help coordinate and drive those things out.
Yeah, so not every volunteer has to be at the center doing the thing, right?
That's how we got. That was literally the conversation. Was hey, listen, I love to, but I just don't think time wise. And she's like, well, what do you think you have to commit time wise? Like, well, I'd have to be there 3, 4, 5 days, and I coach kids. I can't. She's like, no. You can be on the board. You can make connections. You can do X, Y, Z stuff behind the scenes. I was like, oh, connections.
Here we are.
Did you say talking to people?
She threatened me with a good time, Brenda.
How dare you make this fun?
You guys are awesome.
You're so fun, Brenda. Thanks for jumping in here and joining us here today at the Mathnasium Future Fest.
Yeah, thank you to the Mathnasium for having us.
I mean, fantastic. Hey, let's throw another camera view back out there. We got some things happening out here that they probably can't see, but we do have different views that we can push out. Yeah, no.
Should I move out?
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
Can I say hi to you guys?
No, that's I wanted to interview it, and we'll pick Andy's brain a little bit later too. I appreciate you coming.
Yeah, no, you
And
guys
then
are great
joining us here at the
opportunity.
table of fun.
bet.
I could talk to you for like 9 hours about
Really?
nothing. Absolutely. You're
Will
so
you get on a
fun.
bike?
I will. As long as it stays stationary and it has a motor. That's it.
There we go.
So we
Actually, the station.
can talk with this, right?
Well, I always tell Tom, I'm like, they don't know what gear I'm in. I just spin for hours. Yeah.
This is zero resistance, Phil. Get better.
Yes. But, well, again, thank you. I'll get Andy over here. And I'm not gonna lie, I have a date with my granddaughter.
No. That's why we wanted to get you
Yeah,
on the
thank
interview.
you.
That's great.
I think those are guys. How old is your guy?
He's like this.
That's
tall.
3rd grade.
Mhm.
That's the best age.
It's so fun.
No,
Because you're like comics. He's like, Dad, did you see the new Ant-Man? Oh my God.
he would have loved
This
hobby.
is multiverse. And we're having like, yes. Because we're not using words, I struggle a little bit. Like, well, how are you feeling? But when you can tell me about Thor,
Right. Yeah.
And I didn't learn it until my youngest son because I wasn't a comic book person. It's my younger son. He just gets into all of it. So, Mom, you don't understand. I'm like, I didn't, but I do now.
Well, and I got 2 girls at home that my oldest was into the comics with me. My youngest is like boring. That's how she called it. It's boring. They talk too much. I was like, okay, the Justice League animated cartoons or any of that. stuff.
Yeah, they didn't
They're
do
talking
that.
too
Yeah.
much. I'm like, okay, sorry. My oldest went from comic to anime.
Right.
And then she started learning how to draw it. And then she started animating it. And then she started making music from behind it. And then she started building a YouTube channel. And then now she's got a clothing line called Anxious Memory. So that's coming out. Keep track of that, guys.
Yeah.
And so she's 15. She's a smart kiddo. The youngest one's super smart, also highly creative. Brought a trumpet home from my brother. She looked at it. She's like, "Oh, nope, I'm playing it." And so now she's taking lessons. She can rock the flute like nobody's business.
Okay.
Also can draw, color, sculpt, just about anything. I don't have that talent.
Neither do I.
And
all
I'm
of my
jealous
kids
of my
were
children.
creative.
Yes.
Honestly, think they got it from mom. Like, I'm not even joking, but I look, I don't even know how I'm running this teen center. These people are not me.
What I would love to give my wife props for that.
Yeah.
Also not so creative. So I'm like, is the mailman creative? I don't know. But it's not coming from. I think that generation in itself, it pleased me to say that that's coming back because that's also a career, to where they can grow into that as well.
I wish I could draw. I would see the vision in my head, and I would get to paper, and it would not come out that way.
Oh yeah.
But my son's got it.
I just say, yeah.
He's in the car. He got his little pad, whatever I'm driving. He gets moving and shaking and stuff like that. And it was half Mickey, half Donald from memory.
Oh wow.
At 6.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's
I'm not gonna lie, because I'm a transparent parent. I got some stuff that I need to work on. I was like, it's okay.
right.
You could do better. It's not like Tom.
Right.
But I was like,
You want their
really good. But I was
You
like,
want their getting big too fat.
gotta humble him.
Yeah.
Dude, that's an awesome job, bro. But like, from memory. Okay.
Well, and so, throwing money out there for my kids is like, if you want to do that, you can do it without all this expensive equipment and show me that that's what you really want to do. And then I'll throw some money in it.
Yeah.
And so my oldest proved it to me not too long ago. So I went out and I dropped some serious coin and I was like, now produce. And for the shows, so she does some of the stuff for our shows. She's going to intern on producing here and everything else as well. Oh yeah, you will.
Yeah.
Yep. She's got over that sickness and then she's building through now back at school, right?
Yeah.
So what I like about what you're doing, kind of like the Breakers doing, is what are you passionate about? Like we talked about earlier. What are you passionate about? Okay, now here's who we can introduce you to as the Breaker.
That's right.
To help you make that happen. That you can now get paid for this.
Yep.
There's an avenue that if you're great at drawing, man, this one was really good. This tile this year was really good. Hey, here's this person who's the marketing director or whatever, graphic design person from this company in Crystal Lake that we have a network with.
Yep.
You two should meet.
Very similar.
They're volunteering.
You guys doing like a wall of the month, the wall of the month? Who's doing the murals? Right.
No, but it's a good idea.
I know.
I was just
You're
talking
welcome.
to Ashley I was talking to Ashley on the way over, and I was like, okay, yeah, finger on our hands here.
Yeah.
Going on, she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, let's put it on paper. Let's get some manpower behind it. I'm
Yeah.
not throwing stuff out there. We're not going to be able to produce.
And that's cool. And the wall of your month could be the background to the
Wall of
podcast.
All right.
So
I'll
it's
text that
now
to Ashley right
sponsoring
now.
it out there. I don't know. I'm gonna keep going.
She was like, it's on the house.
I'm just
All of it has been
my superpower kicks in once in a while, folks. Once in a while.
coaching stuff. I've been thinking about you since last night. You would love my son.
Okay.
He, no, my oldest. He would have been your dream. He was a coachable kid. So coaches have such an important role. You know, when the kids fall, it'd be nice.
That's right.
Yeah.
Somebody there.
But
Yep.
I
And he fell on a very normal 17-year-old type of thing. It's just everything collided at the same time. But my oldest is all sports. So I love coaches. I love what they give to them.
Yeah. And it's funny because I talk to so many people in so many different groups, and the word coach is just like every 2 seconds. Coach. Everybody's a coach.
Yeah.
Everybody's a coach.
Overdone.
And I talked to a kid who was called himself a coach. He's trying to start a business and everything else, but he's got 0 life experience.
Right.
I'm like, so are you just regurgitating books? What have you done? What makes you qualified to give that
What
advice?
connections do you have
Right.
to help them get where they
And that's why I'm saying, life experience sits right here. Sits at the table, sits at the Future Fest here in Algonquin.
love it?
And so, we appreciate.
I think so.
Oh yeah, no, We're live the whole time. We're not shutting it off. Oh yeah. Yeah.
like family.
Any other personal stories you'd like to share while we're live consistently?
No, they don't involve Tom, so we just throw Tom out there.
We know that you gotta go, but we appreciate it. I'm gonna give you a high five for all the hard work that you do. Thank you very much. And so we're gonna bring in another guest, Phil. Okay. What do you think, man? We got which one do you want to do? Should we do Army? Let's do Army. Go, go beef up. I'll get my saluting hand ready. We'll just do a couple of these. Wow. Great time here at the Mathnasium.
We did have a few comments on Facebook.
Oh, we do. Well, okay, I don't have the Facebook up, but let me take a look here at the old YouTube. Let me pull up the old Facebook. And Mike, it looks like the food is getting prepped, and it's right in front of us. So you're gonna have to jump from the producer side to be the food gathering side for the table here at 21. Come eat your hot dog live at 21.6, right? Sorry, I do this because it's a cappuccino salute. You'll never pronounce my last name, so I go by cappuccino. And you get the cappuccino salute. Give me 1 second here. We're gonna go ahead. We are live, consistent, just so you're aware. And we got some.
It's right there. That's the one camera, and then we have another camera, spyware, somewhere out there.
So somewhere over there.
So you can see it in the whole area.
Appreciate the guys on Facebook throwing out some comments. That's pretty nice, huh, Mike?
Absolutely.
Yeah, nice. And so we'll keep an eye on that too. And if you guys have any questions out there and you want to chat in live, feel free to do so. 216 The Net on YouTube, 216 The Net on Facebook. We're on Twitter, Twitch. We're on all the platforms now. We're pushing out globally here to 35 million live from the Mathnasium, the Future Fest. We got the U.S. We got the U.S. Army here. We're going to talk a little bit.
Thank you for your service.
Well, thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much for your service. And sorry at the same time. It just seems like the world today is a little bit more on fire.
I just work here.
He's like, I wear the camo. It's cool looking, and I get paid, which is great. So, you've been recruiting now for how long for the U.S.
So I started recruiting in 2018. So now it's I think 4 or 5 years now. I can math. Sorry, my name.
That's why you're here, right? Right. We met like a year or so ago, not too long ago, and you dictate for the new generation of personalities, man, which is awesome. Very open, very friendly. It's not very demanding, and you're not forceful with it. You're not like you need the Army.
There's definitely some people we know we probably need it, but we're not like
for sure. I can give you at least a dozen right now.
Take them outside.
Absolutely. So U.S. Army, what are the benefits today? So we're, I'm up there. I'm a little bit. I'm 50. So it was a little bit different, I think, back in the day. The Army, Navy, Marines, now they're Space Force. So I don't know. Everybody shakes their head at that. Here at 21.6, if nobody realizes, every other Thursday we have the Roger That Chronicles podcast. And it's done by 3 retired Marines out of Crystal Lake. And I'll tell you, man, it's a show, Veterans Helping Veterans. It's a great show. So you reminded me to go ahead and punch that in the old there, right? So what is it today that are good benefits for it? And feel free to lean into the mic a little bit.
Like a super rapper, go away in there.
No, that's all right. That's all right. For what is your pitch to the kids today? How does that work?
So nowadays in this area, right? So we're in an area where people are thinking pretty good living, right? So it's more or less the excitement and that factor of it, because that's the thing that people don't have. Like, so I joined the Army in 2010 from McHenry. I'm from McHenry, Illinois. I was excited.
So you're local.
Yep. Wow. So I'm from here. Graduated in 2010 from McHenry High School, and then joined the Army right away. So then from there, I got joined infantryman. I wanted to do something I was never going to do. That's never going to do again in my life. And I never do this stuff again in my life. It's a once in a lifetime experience, and I was in Afghanistan 2011, 2012. But overall, though, it's like the excitement factor of it, and then a lot of kids too. Like, I didn't want to go to college. I still don't want college, but it's something that I know the Army is pushing right now. That the Army wants you to do your civilian education. So that's why that's the other benefit too. That like everyone knows about the GI Bill, right? It pays for your full tuition to any state school in the United States, as long as it's a public school, full tuition, and plus they'll give you $1,000 a year for your books and also a housing allowance.
Wow.
So you don't have to like go live in the dorms with 18-year-olds when you get out in the Army at like 22, 23.
Right.
You already lived that life, you know?
Right.
Do it again.
You already had that. You know, too, it gives you more of an idea too, because people think military. They're like, you know, it's gun in hand, it's going in. Everybody's Rambo, and if you don't know who Rambo is, I'm showing my age. But it's not necessarily that. There's a job for everything. There's communications, technology. There's, you know, you want to become a chef, work in the mess, right? I mean, these are all things that get you kind of prepped for outside of military life as well, and the structure and guidance of discipline. Which is huge. Now, I guess right off the bat, that's not fun, right?
It's not fun, but looking back at it, everyone realized like, wow, it actually helped me a lot. But when you first joined the Army, most people don't join the Army.
No,
Discipline aspect.
the discipline teaches you a lot. How to have willpower, how to build that to a strength, right? How to read a room. Fit. Right, fit in the head, fit physically, mental toughness, physical toughness, endurance, pushing your limits, challenging yourself.
Yep.
These are all things that everybody should do. A little too late for this guy, so sorry. No, we're gonna say it. So
It's been decided.
Right. It's been. I think my wife's walking around here somewhere. Children, because she has to. She better. So what is it that you would like to tell kids today?
So one of the cool things that like, the Army offers right now, especially for like being here at Mathnasium,
Yeah.
a lot of people are struggling with the ASVAB. The Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery.
Really?
It's the test that everyone has to take to join any branch of the military. And what it is, it's not even a test to see if you qualify for the military. It's really a career placement test. So people are struggling to get the required scores to even qualify. So the Army right now has it's called the Future Soldiers Preparation Course. And what it is, it's if you go to school, you're in the Army getting paid, wear the uniform, you go to school for up to 3 weeks, and not longer than you have to be couldn't pass it the first time, the next time. But you go there, they'll train you, and then you pass this test, and then you're in the Army.
You get a little.
Oh, I got you. I'll be a little bit closer.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, so it's something that's gonna help. It helps out people now, especially like the math. And, like since COVID, I think like, one of the things is like the education has been
Well, there's a struggle for a lot of people, even adults through the COVID period. And so, you know, that's great to know that they're schooling that preps for the ASVAB test.
Right, and it's an investment into those soldiers that they want to be there, and it's an investment into them. The Army's investing their time and effort and money into them to try and help them become successful later on.
Well, that's because, you know, the Army. So let's back up and talk about trades, right? Trades are a hard fill now. Everybody's going to be the CEO of a company. I think that was a parent's thing where they were like, my kid's going to be successful. But the definition of success in their head was you own and or are the president of a company or a CEO, a CFO, a COO. And, you know, that's the definition. But people don't realize there's a lot of good money you can make in trades and a great skill set to be learned. And those are the building blocks that America was actually built on. Right. And so when you go into the military, these are trades that you can learn. How common is it to go from mechanic, I know there's a word for it, mechanic to like fireman?
So, excuse me. So in like the Army right now, so like they're actually a job in the Army. There's a firefighter in the Army.
Yep.
It's not very common because there's not a lot of them. So it's very difficult for us to get that job for somebody.
Gotcha.
Mechanics, right? So the Army's gonna pay you to get that training and whatnot, and then you're gonna be certified.
Yep.
And you'll do the job once you get out of the Army, unless you do the whole 20 years, then you can do it again then, or you can just sit on your couch at home when you get out. It's 20 years. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, so like you can go from every career. So I was an instrument, like I said, and now I'm in like sales. I say recruiting is a sales job, and then I don't know what I want to do when I grow up, but I have to do what I want.
Well, and that's it. It gives you, but now you have more of an opportunity.
Yes.
Because you learn so many different things, so many different trades, and just even being a recruiter. It's a sales position in a sense, right? I don't like to use the word sales. I like to use relationship building,
Right.
because you're building relationships with the youth to come in and see what they can have for the future. Army's not for everybody. Military's not for everybody. But it might be for somebody, and that person can be developed into a really core citizen in the United States, coming out and really being part of a great community.
She's a big one time. We just had Brenda from the break. So she's the teen center in Crystal Lake, right? So my thought would be if I'm a 18, 19, 21-year kid at the Crystal Lake Break, the teen center, and I'm sitting here thinking that, maybe I'd like to go into either engineering or technology, and I know you, what would that look like as far as a conversation of, hey, I'm thinking military might help me get to this.
Mm-hmm.
What's that process look like?
So the process, like, so if you want to get these, say you want to become an engineer, right? There's engineer jobs in the Army. There's also the college benefits of it too. So you have to qualify for that job. Talk to us. We'll do everything you have to do to get you qualified if something's going on. But at the end of the day, it's like you're gonna be able to do that job, especially if you do an engineer job in the Army. You're gonna get that job experience already, the on-the-job training that. Most people don't get hired right out of college for the job they want right away because they don't have any experience in that job. They might have a degree in there, but they don't have that experience. In the Army, you can get both. You get it on-the-job training and the college education at the same time, right away.
So you grab 2-3 years of experience. That's going to help you stand out.
Yes.
It sounds like a great opportunity for him to come talk at the break.
Right. So we'll get you Brenda's card.
Yep.
Sure. Thank you.
Yep. We'll put you in front of all the teams you want to be.
Hey,
Get them all in.
that's our job.
Show them how to do
Out there in the community.
it. Show them what it's about. Awesome, man. Hey, listen, I appreciate your time today, Derek.
Thank you for having me here.
And enjoy the rest. There's food over there. See you eyeballing it anyway. Appreciate your time. Once again, folks, here with the Mathnasium for Future Fest, you could be in the Army now.
Yep.
With just give Derek a call. We got a number on here. It's at 224-367-3231.
Yes, that's my office number. And then if you find me on Instagram, I'm this Army guy on Instagram. So this Army guy.
I love that.
See?
Did you come up with that yourself? That's
I
awesome.
have a logo too. If you look at my Instagram, I have a logo for everything too. So
That's awesome.
And it'll be a great way for you guys before you take off. Ask questions, right? Because people make assumptions. People think they already know what that process is going to look like. Like we started off, we appreciate what you do, right? And like we talked about with Brendan, there's a lot of ways to be able to serve the country outside of just the rifle. Correct. So ask the Army guy. What's that process will look like?
yeah.
Ted Legal says, thank you, Derek, for your service.
Oh, thank you, Ted Legal.
And Ted, thanks for joining us and chatting in. Looks like we got some. It's hard to follow everybody at the same time.
And Rob,
Rob Messick. I hope I'm not butchering your last name.
Rob Messick has the best barbecue in Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah,
all right.
buddy down there.
So he'll be coming by with some barbecue, according to Phil. Phil's promising barbecue. Come on down.
We do our show in Dallas.
All right. All right. Rob, thank you very much for chatting in. There's a lot of feedback says hard to hear Derek correctly or clearly. Right. Yeah. We only have one mic, and Phil likes to steal the show. So that's
Talk fast, I know.
well, you got to be a fast talker. That's how you get him in, right? So awesome. Thanks for your time, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I'm gonna do a high five with that.
Boom.
Go get him, bud. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Wow, awesome, man. Some great people so far. And just kind of wrapping through here. It looks like they're kind of putting the food out. We could bring in somebody else here. Let's do somebody inside. Matthew, right? There's somebody, yeah. Matthew, you got a minute for us? Yeah, let's get you in, man. Let's talk real estate.
Get my mind off of this food for a little bit.
Hey man, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good, good. So it's just all for your last name. How do you pronounce your last name? Covington? Covington.
Yeah, you say all the letters, you say it just like it looks, but everyone
I won't
totally
repeat it.
butchers it.
Yeah. Matthew here is with Keller Williams, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. So what brings you to the Future Fest today?
I actually represented one of the employees here at Mathnasium in her purchase a couple years ago in the Elgin area.
Wow.
So yeah, she called me because she said she had some students here that were interested in real estate, and she wanted to bring me out to talk to them if they have any questions and everything about it, just to kind of feel it out.
Give him
To see
a
if it's the right
little
thing for
leg
them.
in, right?
Yeah, he's like get the low and dirty on real estate.
Right now.
So
Well, and that's kind of cool too. So we can talk about that a little bit. You know, when I was young, real estate wasn't even a thing in my mind. It was, alley ball. It was, things that you just want to do and not think about the world as it is. Kids today are like, I want to invest in the property, and I've had that a couple times where I'm like, wow, you're already ahead of the game.
A 17-year-old talking about his portfolio.
What?
how does that have a portfolio?
Right. Right. So, it's amazing. And in order to keep guiding the youth today, man, we have to stay on top.
Right.
We have to stay on top of that game. So that's awesome that you're here at Future Fest.
Yeah.
And what kind of advice would you give the youth today about real estate? What is the main advice that you can
I
give?
think there may be not for everyone, but I think there may be kind of a misconception on what real estate really entails for people. I mean,
Sure.
we have all these TV shows on HGTV and all these Instagram people and everything make it look like this glamorous profession to be in. And yes, it can be. Yes, you get to see some beautiful homes and sell some beautiful homes and meet some wonderful people as you're working with them and everything. But there is a whole lot that goes into it in the background. It's a hard job. It's hard to work with a lot of people. There's a lot of different personalities that come into play with other agents, with attorneys, with clients as well. So sometimes it's not all cozy with your clients. Sometimes you have to really work hard to build a relationship with them and everything. So you have to learn how to work with you. So it's not as glamorous as it might come across for these influencers and in these TV shows where it's like, oh, let's go see 3 houses and then boom, boom, we're done.
There's a lot involved. And, even for myself, and so full transparency, I have a place in Schaumburg that I just put it on the private market.
Oh, good.
My realtor is Keller Williams.
Oh, wonderful.
His name is Christopher Price. Great guy.
Okay.
And a friend of the family. So he's really kind of looking out for me.
That's awesome.
But he made me fill out all these documents, sign, initial, everything from radon
Oh, yeah.
to, to best of your knowledge and I was like, this is a condo. I don't know about the foundation. He's like, Mark, you don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And he's like, there's like an NA, a no, and a yes, right? And so if I have to say yes, I'm like, how much am I hurting my deal on my house? He's like, well, you mentioned it. And he told me, he's like, believe it or not, if you're transparent, the buyers see that. And you've already listed it. So we put it out there with a listing, and then some of the things that I'm not going to fix. And then that we've already deducted that to show, hey, this is what we were asking, but we're deducting it because of this. Right. And so right now there's no inventory, right? So it's definitely a buyer or a seller's market.
Yeah.
And then I think, not to talk about interest rates or anything, but I think we were here and then we're going back up here. So, he's really taking care of me. I didn't realize how much it took. He was like, so you just give me your information for your lawyer. I'm like, my lawyer?
Right.
Really? He's like, oh yeah. Oh, that's going to cost you too. I'm like, oh, good. Well, that comes out. So he had to give me the breakdown, how it works. And, I didn't realize how much really goes into that, right? So then you get these people that are like, I want want to invest in the property and I'm going to rent out units or I'm going to flip a house or I'm going to go into flipping the business. Man, is it cutthroat?
It is.
I'm just trying to clean it and get rid of it. You know what I mean? And it's already, to me, it's like, wow, this is like a lot. It's a lot of work.
It is.
So that's great that you can actually give that information now to these kids. So networking is huge with being a realtor, correct? So you have a relationship probably with a lender. You probably have a relationship with a title company. You probably have a relationship. So then they all toss back and forth and this and that as far as business goes. I'll give a little introduction to Ken Jones. I know you're listening out there, Ken. He's one of our business partners here at the studio. He's also a lender. Yeah, great guy. I'll have to do an introduction for you.
So kind of tying it, we were talking earlier about the importance of relationship building and networking strategically with the youth. And then we also talked about how Brendan and we work on the soft skills when we speak with kids, like how to be able to articulate. How important is it with that relationship building and what you're doing with real estate?
I mean, our entire business is based on relationships. I mean, like you said, I have my lenders, I have my attorneys, I have title companies and all that. You build all these relationships. Sometimes you build, and then you realize it's not the right one.
Right.
And then you kind of you pivot and you kind of find the one that's going to work well with you, and the one you can trust. And
Do you carry redundancy on that? Do you say, hey, I'm going to build a relationship with 5 lenders?
I have actually a handful. I have like 2 or 3 that I recommend.
So it's never wrong.
No, absolutely not, because there's 2 or 3 that I really do trust. I know they're going to do a good job, and I can give those options to my clients as well.
Correct.
Because you don't want to just say, here's my one lender.
Right.
Because you're making a decision for them. And that's
No, you want them to choose.
I do, and I'll say, hey, I've worked with them. I know that they're fantastic. I know this was a job for you, but you also want to let them make the decision for themselves. So with the relationship there, those are built relationships that you get to work your entire career with, potentially, hopefully. The relationships that you're building with your clients are a little more short term for the most part. Like, you have to build a trust with them right after that to make sure they know that you're going to take good care of them and they can trust you. But a lot of times these relationships carry on. Like, oh, that was here at Daisy. I mean, she called me 2 years after we closed on their house. She's like, hey, I thought about you. We had somebody ask about a realtor. And I'm like, oh,
Awesome.
I'd love to come talk to the kids about that.
That's fun.
Yeah, because there's a lot about real estate that it might not seem that appealing to youth right now without really knowing much about it. But you see somebody thought it was so cool, or maybe their mom does it, maybe their neighbor does it, they're like, well, I want to do that too, So it's nice to get in front of these kids and let them know that there are options for them for whatever they decide they want to do.
Yeah.
So I have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
The importance of also keeping with the soft skills, being able to read people and understand and make that connection. I'm a 75-year-old man. You're showing me a 10 acres. In my head, I'm thinking I'm going to leave this to my grandson. But you're just talking about the specs. You're not really understanding.
I love being his grandson, by the way. He's already leaving me things. So keep going.
I think sometimes it's a multiverse. It's
all right.
Okay. But I was having a conversation with a person, and I was like, "You're regurgitating important and insignificant information."
Yeah.
Talk to, as far as I'm a youth, the importance of developing that skills of soft skills, because so many kids think, I don't know the numbers aspect. It's important. Sometimes being able to connect with that person, and it's not as much the hard sales. It's just, I have this that you're looking for your goals.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so much focus put on that in terms of learning how people respond to and how to work with certain people, because there's different ways that there's different tests and assessments that people can take just to learn their personality, right? Like DISC test. I don't know if you've heard of that, the DISC assessment. So it's really a good focus for us to learn how to read things and learn what drives them. Like some people are very, very number oriented and want to just, that's all they want to know. They want to know the numbers, the very strict processes and everything. Some people are much more emotional, and you have to learn how to work with them as well. Now, I'm a more emotional person than I am a numbers person, so I know how I work. So I can recognize those people very quickly and know how to work with them and know how to take care of them correctly.
And they gravitate towards
Absolutely,
that. Yeah.
absolutely. Now the numbers people might not gravitate to me as
Right.
quickly, so I have to come in prepared pretty quickly. You have to learn how to just read people pretty quickly
Correct.
and know who they are and how they're going to respond to you. and how
I'm
they-
not a numbers person. I'm like him.
Yeah.
You know, I can gravitate towards that.
Well, with the youth, there's a book, Wired That. Which talks about different personality types and it goes into like sanguine, choleric, melancholic, patient, phlegmatic. And so what you're saying, like I'm the tell me the fun side,
Mhm.
Right.
energy,
Yeah.
right? So I can do this, and before wheelers, I'm in.
Yes, yeah,
on
right.
this. Whereas, a cleric might be like, man, if you imagine there's that big house, but you park your Mercedes or your big truck right here, and I was like, I can park my big.
That's right.
Knowing the personality
Right.
types and what's important to them. I have one of my best friends, and you'll meet him, Cordero. When I talk, if I don't have the details for him, bro, I'm like, I painted this beautiful picture of what we can do. And he's like, yeah, but the details.
Yeah.
All you care about is the numbers.
Right.
But if I didn't know that, I would lose that client or friend.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to know how to read people. You have to know what their personality is like to do that. And it's so important because I sell myself because I don't see myself as a salesperson.
Nope.
I see myself as someone who wants to take care of someone.
Relationship
help them.
builder.
Yeah, 100%. So
Your product follows.
people say I'm in sales, but I'm like, all right, if that's how you see it, that's cool. But that's not how I operate. I go into meetings with new clients and everything to introduce myself and let them get to know my personality right off the bat. It's like, and I kind of walk them through steps and all that.
Yep.
Just to let them know how it's all going to go. But it's like, I want them to know me. I want them to trust me and they have that build that relationship right off the bat to either take care of them.
Because through that process, we're going to get to know each other a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, yeah. We'll get to know each other really well.
Right. Right.
there's no professional. I don't do stick in the mud business.
No.
I don't do boring, dull,
Oh.
transactional. Hey, here's your number for lot 5.
No.
Good morning.
Right.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for
So
asking.
it's funny that you say that. So, LinkedIn is a big platform for business people. I'm on LinkedIn all the time, right? I got a decent following of relationships that I've built. But then I get the ones that just message me and they're like, hey, Drew, let's have a quick conversation about your insurance needs and all these other things. And I'm like, hey, Linda, how's the family? And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, I do business with people that I actually know. Do we know each other? So let's start there.
Right.
And so if you are good at what you do, you already know that. Now, if I'm talking with you and I don't even know what you do. And I'm like, man, I gravitate towards Matt. He's an awesome guy. You go by Matt, Matthew, whatever your friends call you, right? And I'm like, man, what do you do to go on my real estate? Oh, just so happens we're going to be looking to buy next year.
That's exactly.
I'm like, I'd love to give you a call because you've already proven your transparency. You're trustworthy. You're showing all your cards on the table. Your personality dictates who you are, right? We're having these conversations. Then we're starting to hang out. Why would I go outside of a trusted network
Exactly. Yeah.
to do business? Now, listen,
why
I'm
it's so
Italian
important.
from Chicago. To me, it's just I got a guy. And you're going to want to use my guy because my guy has never hurt anybody. And that's how I do business. I actually have an entire business model based on that. So we do real estate, insurance, technology, human resource, talent management, academy, media. And it's a brokerage, but we call it business resourcing.
Okay.
We hand it off to a vetted back end. We make residuals on it. So it's A through Z in business. We're the only one of our kind because you have brokers in each individual space. So if I said, I know Keller Williams does small amounts of like corporate buildings to like try to real estate. But if I said, hey, Phil, looking for a startup a business, I'm going to set you up to get your office space. Then we're going to insure it. Then we're going to put bodies in it. Then we're going to insure them. Then I'm going to get you all your phone systems, your internet, and everything else by a single phone call. And all you got to do is focus on your mission critical process of what you do for a living, right? So I'm a relationship builder. I go out there and I build all these relationships. And I'm trusted. If I tell them I can't do it, it means I can't do it. But I'll ask my network and I'll find you someone who can.
That's exactly it.
And then they're more appreciative of me giving it away and saying, man, that's awesome. And then they have a conversation with somebody and they're like, no, you got to be true. And so that's how this builds, right? So we have a global network. We work globally as well. And so for what you do, 100%, everybody is a salesman. Even relationship builder. I don't care if you're in sales or not in sales. You could be a dishwasher. You're still a salesman. Who you are as a person, and whatever follows you comes with trusted service, right? So that's it. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that you're at the Mathnasium.
I know.
That's an unusual pairing,
Right.
you know what I mean? So when I saw that, like, dude, Keller Williams is at the Mathnasium. This is cool because you don't get that too much from kids. Look at all these kids piling in right now. Hi guys, how are you? Are you guys enjoying your time here at the Future Fest? Yeah, awesome. Are you part of the Mathnasium? Have you come to the Mathnasium at all? You guys do math here? Oh, cool. Yeah, I love that. I love that hair thing. I'm a little jealous because I can't do that anymore.
It's been a long time since I've been able to.
There's a field right now you can take.
Oh, there is. It's too far gone, man. It's too far gone. That's all right. That's all right. I'll take it. Enjoy your time. Get a hot dog. It's good stuff. Before he eats them all.
If there are any Mathnasium students who want to do
So,
contact.
I have a youth mentorship program and obviously partner with the break. That's what it's here for.
Yeah.
And like I said, we talk about soft skills. For sales, what I had an experience in sales as far as career side. Look,
Yeah.
I get a chance to be saying to help people. How big of a role does common courtesy, rapport, and follow through?
Oh my gosh.
Like because a lot of kids will hear, well, make sure that you're following up, and they'll hear following up and think, well, what were your thoughts on the project?
Those are fundamentals, I would think.
Following up is, I know that you needed a couple of extra days in, Drew, because your daughter was sick. Wanted to see how she's doing.
Yeah.
That's the relationship. How big is common courtesy to report and follow through in what you're doing?
Common courtesy. I mean, that's the whole starting point, right? It's like that's how you determine how the entire process goes for you and your clients, you and the other agent you're working with, you and everybody else is involved in that transaction. You know, so one of the things that Keller Williams always focuses on that I love. I see it on the wall in our office every single time I walk in. It's a win-win or no deal. Right? You know, it's got to be a win-win.
Mutual.
Yeah. It's like we're not trying to stick it to anybody else or anything like that. It's like no, this is. We have somebody that wants this. You have somebody that wants this. Let's come to an agreement. Let's figure out what works for everybody. It's going to be a good deal for everybody. It's awesome, and that's true with any relationship. Really, you know. So
And sometimes the win-lose works too. If you're the one letting somebody else win, because they'll come back to you later and it becomes a win.
Yeah.
So win-lose-win. We'll do that. We'll do the sandwich, right?
I see, like we're talking, you'll do that so much as far as not my superpower.
Right.
We're both big nerds.
Yep.
Not my superpower, but it's his.
That's right.
It's Mike's.
Yeah.
It's Matt.
That's right.
So I may not get commission,
exactly.
but Matt's gonna be like, well, I just sold a house to this guy whose kids want to play basketball in the area. I remember, Phil, that you train kids.
Yeah.
And so it all came back around. I think so many times that when kids who are people who are hearing sales, they think just again the transaction versus the relationship, they miss out because if I'm trying to get me one, what I miss out on, you said earlier, you have a big network.
That's right.
By trying to get me one, I missed out on thousands.
Well, focus. You got to
Build a
focus
relationship
on.
with the one.
And I actually just had something like that recently. I had an agent from Denver call me. We have a huge network all over the country, all over the world with Keller Williams. So a Denver agent called me and looking for, he knew I was in the suburbs of Chicago. Didn't know. I'm like, okay, well, the suburbs of Chicago are fast. So let's focus down a little bit to see where your people actually actually are,
Right.
and see if I'm the right one to help. And then ended up down where we're like Country Club Hills or something like that.
Okay.
Cool. It's not far from me, you know. That's not my area of expertise, and I know that. And I know I'm not going to be the right one to service your people, and I really want to make sure they have the best.
They want a spot in Schaumburg. I know that.
Got something under contract from Schaumburg.
Oh, there you go. Nice, right next to
That's part
Woodfield,
of my,
folks.
that's part of my my area. But no, it's like I know this is not the right one for me. I know I'm not going to be able to service them the way they need to be. You know, so it's like I knew of another agent down in that area. I'm like, you need to call Jack. You know, it's like go. I can let this one go because I know this isn't going to be the right one for anybody, and it'll come back to me at some point. You know. So you got to have that common courtesy, like you were saying, common courtesy. But it goes so far. It goes so far with relationships that you're building, the immediate transaction you're working with all these other people and everything. So I mean that's huge.
You make it a well-rounded experience for the client, right? And I appreciate you and the company more because you could have tried to get you on, you could have tried to sell me, but you didn't know the ins and outs of that area. So now I have this home, but I'm right next to this horrible neighborhood. I don't know that area, so I'm not speaking of it. But when I was really looking for a better educational area for my kids. And so you put it where it's like, that's not my level of expertise. I don't know the areas, but I want to give you guessing information on the long-term decision.
Correct.
Man, I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Thank you so much.
It all boils down to who the person is.
How the hot dogs, guys?
That's how I want to be treated. So of course that's how I
Nice.
treat everybody else. You know, and I want to make sure I'm not out for every single buck I can get. I don't want to treat people. I don't want to be treated like
No, right.
I think sometimes when we're mentoring, we slow down to speed up kind of thing. It's, hey, would you like the person who just only wrote and said this? Would you like if you had a salesperson that only wrote you just for the numbers and didn't anything? Well, no. So why are you being to your client?
Right.
A lot of times, like, coach, we practice at what time of day? 5.
Hello, how are you today?
Hello. Or if a kid comes up and he starts talking to me, you saw this.
That's right.
Sorry, I'm Q.
Right.
This is Andrew.
No.
Because it's common courtesy, bro. And you don't know who you're not shaking hands with.
Yeah.
Meet this guy. Understand this person.
And you never know who you're going to come back across in your life down the road.
Oh,
There's
absolutely.
like, for example, my clients, they're going to send me to other people or whatever, you know, or call me 2 years later to come do an event with her. An agent. I had a great working relationship with them during this transaction. They're going to remember that down the road because they're like, oh gosh, man, it was awesome to work with. Or one of 12 offers on the table for herself. She'll remember me and she'll be like, they were great to work with. I really recommend this, unless of course there's $50,000 at stake or something. But if we're all in the same boat, then she might be like, everything else looks the same. I'd go with him because he's really great to work with. It's going to come back to.
Well, if you're helping people, so helping people is key, right? The word help. People don't put a dollar sign next to that word for some reason. And that is where the dollar sign comes from. Quick story. Recently, I was with a different job and doing things. And I was told, don't worry about helping people. Just bring in the numbers. You folks out there, you know who I'm talking about. I don't need to throw out names. So what you don't realize, real business people conduct business by helping people. Because if you help 5, you get 12. You help 12 more, you get 30. And that's exactly how I do things. And that's exactly how things are done. As a professional in your field, that's how you do it. You're helping people find their dream. What is the goal?
Yeah.
That's what you're asking them. What is the goal?
Yes, right.
You know, are you just, you know, you're not like, hey, here's a $500,000 home in Schaumburg, or you can go for the $7 million home in Barrington, which we're going to go look at that first. And then I'm going to show you nothing but garbage afterwards. So that looks like the prize, right?
Yep.
Nope. What are your goals?
Yep.
Where do you want to be financially? Is this a 5-year, 8-year plan? Are you looking at growing? Your kids are small. You got small kids. You're growing into a bigger place. I mean, these are all the important questions of a person, folks, that care about what your needs are and are out there to help you, just like like Matthew from Keller Williams.
That's one of the things that's going on right now. We're back in the seller's market every we have been, so we're seeing a lot of multiple offers and all that. So when I'm working with buyers, I do pride myself on how I handle those situations because I tell my buyers, like, all right, here, there's going to be a lot of offers on this thing that just came out 2 days ago. You know, I already heard there's multiple offers, so we got to strategically put in your offer, but I don't want you to get too far, like further than you should.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me go back. I'm going to really run comps hard on this house. And I'm going to tell you how high I really feel you should go. Because if you go higher than that, if you want to do it, great. It's up to you. But I'm going to let you know where I feel where you're safe staying because I don't want you to get too far in the rev of this house by going $20,000-$30,000 over the list price. So I've had other people tell me, let them do what they want to do. It's like, that's not what I know. That's not how I operate. Like, that's not who I am. I want to make sure I'm taking care of them and not letting them get into a situation that they're going to regret later. So it's like I like this example is this is where we are. I actually just got my buyers. They put 10 offers on different houses. The time we were working together, but we were also working through each of those houses and saying, "Oh, we're not going to go higher than this," and it did go higher than that. They missed out, but they didn't get into a situation they were regret later. And they appreciate it. And it's like I feel like that's what I would appreciate.
Well, and if you're throwing out the fair number, right? There's a place Shabri in the neighborhood where I'm selling, right? And so I'm looking at the comps that he gave me, and they put the house out for $275. It's a condo, right? $275. And it sold at $292. That means there was a war. There was a bid more on that thing. But you don't know that until somebody who's professional enough, who's been doing this for a minute, to say, let's go here and then let's see where it gets us. Because right now, if there's no inventory, this should be on the market for a week before it sells or less. Otherwise, if it doesn't, we need to come down in our price. And then people are going to be like, why are you starting to come? Why did it go from here to here to here to here to here? Right?
Yep.
So, and that's why Chris Pry told me, he's like, let's go here. And then we'll let them know that this is what we were asking, but because of this, and this is where you're at, and it's transparency.
I love the transparency right up front because it's it can't come back to bite you down the road. If you try to hide something, it's going to come out. It's going to come out
100%.
So
And
so
honesty
glad
is
that
key,
he
man.
guided you in that.
Oh, I'm very appreciative.
Yeah.
Very, very appreciative. I'm still trying to chisel down his commission. He's like a brother to me. He knows that. He's probably laughing right now and watching.
We were talking earlier about like the importance of personal development, right? One of the questions I suggest for kids was like the best way to keep growing yourself.
Yep.
And the reason why that is because once you know that you have value, you can have offer that value.
Yeah.
And one of the values that is offered is coaching. So that's what versus real estate. And we also talked about obviously the relationship side. And we were talking about when you care, people will not have their ear once you give them their heart. In sales, in relationships, there's that caring enough to coach. And it's kind of that good tension of I'm the expert in this field. Based off what you told me was your goals, your long term. Here's why I did it. And you're keeping that transparency. But because you've been first class, because you built that relationship, because you've asked the questions long term, not just trying to get the 7 million, but hey, if 5 million is what you're looking for, why spend the extra money?
Right.
Unless you want to give me a commission check extra, like I'm cool with that.
I love stretch goals because you're going to aim for 10, but you really only need to be at 2, and now you got 5, right? So you can't go wrong with that. I love that. So that's so well put. That's well put.
I think how when you get into those situations where I'm the buyer, obviously you're the real estate person. How much easier does it make the process after you built that rapport and that relationship? When it comes down to coach, for you to give me the pushback of love.
It's definitely easier once you've built that. Oh my gosh, I mean, you can kind of draw your own assumptions that it should be. You don't realize that it makes it so much easier to have that that heart-to-heart conversation, or sometimes I like to call it come to Jesus talk. You know, It's
Correct.
all right, guys, we really got to take a step back and look at it this way. And when you have that relationship already, it's like they're going to look at you,
Yep.
and they're going to trust you. So I mean, you can't even put into words how important it is.
Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate your time today.
Of course.
I know that there's going to be a presentation here shortly, so I don't want to interrupt what she's doing either. But maybe we need to sneak Jackie in here and say hi to her too. But man, thank you so much for your time today, man. That was awesome. Enjoy your time. Get a hot dog. I'm gonna have to find somebody to sit in this chair because there's hot dogs, man. Thanks, Ed. No problem. Take care. Yeah, some great people here. I love it. I love it. There's people outside too, and you would love to get. I don't know. What do you think? Either her, Hope. Let's get Hope in. There we go. We're gonna go. We're gonna go camera switch. We're gonna go camera switch real quick. I'm just gonna put her on the spot. You either join me or you go on the spot.
Well, they
I
might.
feel like I'm learning just by looking at the walls of this place.
I'm looking at the characters on the walls. I'm looking at the map. My head hurts. Blood sugar's low, I think. But yeah, this is a great place. They do a lot of great stuff here. Talking with Hope. So, oh yeah, no, we've already put you on camera, ladies and gentlemen. Hope Vitale,
One, the only.
So my great grandmother was
Just
super
having
into
great conversations. Like that's what we like.
I know.
So you're on camera already. I'm not waiting. No, that's okay because you're on camera too. Welcome to 2116 Creator Studio. Come on through.
All right,
Switch it
I'm here.
over.
I'm here.
Okay.
That's made official.
Hi.
I'm Phil.
Hello. Hi, Phil. I'm up.
This amazing fest is hosted by Hope, and it's Vitale, correct? Hope Vitale.
Thank you, fellow Italians.
Yes. And I wanted to make sure I didn't butcher that. It would make my heritage look horrible. Because I'm a cappuccino, because Casaccio can't be pronounced for some reason. That's right. Thanks for having us here.
Thanks for coming.
We're having a blast. We're talking to so many people. I still need to sneak in. So we have a presentation happening today,
We
right?
do from 1 to 2. Jackie with Conscious College Planning
That's right.
is doing a college prep workshop.
Okay.
It's going to be amazing. Everything from SAT and ACT info that they don't tell you about,
Yeah.
to what colleges look for, to how to get scholarships and grants and different things, and early admission, why that makes sense, and why you need to do things outside of school too. Your resume for school, the college already knows it, but they don't know that you cut your neighbor's yard
That's right.
every summer and you're a good Samaritan. They don't know that. They don't know. They want the caliber of people that they want doesn't always show in your high school transcript.
Yeah. And so Jackie, let's get her over here real quick before she starts her presentation and say, hey, Mathnasium, real quick. Give us a lowdown so the folks out there.
Well, the last
No.
time you and I talked about math,
Yep.
you said if you add two numbers together, you get a color.
I either get a color or a fruit, and it's usually a banana.
Well, we happen to use bananas in our teaching.
Well, I just got the password for the Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
and it was
Well, now I can't tell you.
no, I know.
What we do here is if you're great at math, that's good. Come here, we'll help you do better. We help you catch up, stay caught up, and excel.
I love it.
For anything from pre-K all the way through college.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody can come here. We have college calculus kids that are up here because, it's been a minute.
Well, and you guys, the way you told me is that you break it down to be simple.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be as complex as a lot of people are doing it today.
No,
And
because who the heck?
math is taught through a Chromebook now, I
Yeah.
think, right?
But who the heck wants to know what a denominator is? All you need to know is the name of diffraction. That's all you need to know.
Oh, the play on words, I love it. Well played.
Thanks Larry Martinek for that. He's the founder of Mathnasium. It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Man I've ever met.
You told me a story, and that story almost put me in tears. course.
every
That story is on YouTube. People can see
Yes, it
that,
is.
correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
The man behind the method.
It's called The Man Behind the Method.
Yeah, Larry Martin.
Awesome. Check it out, folks. Learn the history of why this is what it is and how many locations do we have today.
We have globally, you're on every continent with almost 1,200 centers.
Nice.
And I have
That's
the pleasure
huge.
of working with 4 of them.
Yes.
Somebody out there do the percentage for me.
Blue and banana.
Grapefruit.
So soon we'll be hearing from the great Jackie. Hello. Hi, Jackie. Hi. Live here, 216 Creative Studios. We just wanted to say hi real quick. If you want to come over 2 seconds, get on camera.
Okay.
And let's talk about your college planning and how people can get a hold of you.
All right. I'm on my way.
That's awesome.
Hi.
I'm Bill.
Nice to meet you, Phil.
Page 2.
Thank you, Hope.
Everyone's in their own little world.
I know everybody's all I do is smell hot dogs and I'm stuck here. So I don't know. I got nothing.
But it's buy the food, but don't give me.
That's right. Cameras, camera change? Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, Jackie Postolnik. I said that correct this time, right?
Mostly.
Because I think most. Jackie and I are good friends, actually. You help kids prep for school and you help their parents, right? And I know you have a great presentation coming up. I just want to get 2 seconds about, let's tell the folks out there what it is that you do.
Yeah. So I help students align with their strengths, help them understand their challenges, discover career paths, areas of study, good fit schools, how to strategize and put their best foot forward on their college application so they get, better chances of admission and better chances for scholarships. So there's a lot to coordinate in planning for college. So there's so many different phases. I'm going to teach everyone today what they got to think about. They'll have they'll walk away today with a blueprint of what they have to do. And if they want me to help them carry out that blueprint, I'm available for that. But if not, they have a lot of information that they can run with. To help.
So, when I went to school, we didn't have any of that. We didn't have someone who cared enough to say, I'm going to help you find what you want to do, help assess it, and help take all the pain points away for you and your parents.
She had me at that point. You said you're going to help my mom with the process. What is that?
Yeah. Well, when the parents, need their end of the coaching and the guidance, it's usually more for the financial piece.
Yep.
Guiding them through, okay, what is it going to cost? What's your budget? Let's think about these things. You can't just ask a question and know the answer right away. You need to go over your numbers. You need to talk in, confines between, both parents, right? And kind of see how it's all going to shake out and where's this money going to come from and all that good stuff. But it's also just sometimes alleviating the pressure of the parents needing to ask their kids what to do on the daily basis to get ready for college so that I can alleviate a little bit of that off their shoulders. So it helps in preservation of relationship between student and parent during this sometimes stressful process. So
she found the formula, right? She found the formula in order to, because this has to be a repetitive best practice. So you're adapting to the personalities of the families. You're adapting to, so here's the start of the process. You have this entire process you go through from assessment all the way through to finding funding, finding location, what you want to do, what's your backup. These are all important things that really throw people for a loop, but she has a system and she's awesome and her personality dictates because she's in my network. I don't let just anybody in, right?
I'm sitting here thinking, so with A to Z, the basketball program is correct. One of the things is prepping on the basketball side, but also having a conversation for what's going to look like college-wise. It'd be wonderful for you to be able to help out.
100%. She's the person.
Some parents, we sat down with the women last week, Bill and I, And like we didn't know until we got there, and then we're trying to figure it out on the fly. Versus, hey, this is what you're going to come into. You're going to go up the block, and there's going to be a make a left to the stop sign.
Yeah.
You're going to this time you want to have this time. By this year, you want to have that. Start saving this because it's really going to look like realistic. It's huge.
And you know what's great about Phil, author of three books now, a leader at the Break Teen Center, leadership in McHenry County, coaches, personal coach, basketball coach. Am I saying all the right things? You owe me 20 later.
Yeah. Just like I wrote before.
So one of the things that he says that really I love the most is because he's in the basketball big time. What are you going to do when the ball stops bouncing? That's where you just, that should be the name of the program for you. When she comes in, she is here to help you for when the ball stops bouncing.
Yeah.
Right? Because you need to work on that now.
So, I was fortunate enough to be able to get a scholarship, but in some certain schools, you may not get full ride scholarship. It may be partial scholarship. It might be academic scholarship. So, you might adjust the financial side. But hey, Billy, you need to be at a 3.5 then if you want to be able to get this financial scholarship from this university that you want to go to. If you want one with this major, you're looking at this. It's the top ones in the area.
That's right.
And just understand the tuition, room and board, the books is going to be this. So this is why going to that party on Friday, it doesn't make sense. This is why we need to get you in the mathnasium.
Right.
2 times a week, buddy.
Come to the mathnasium, learn something. That's right.
Yeah.
That's how you get on these books.
Yeah.
100%.
Right. You got to break it down. You got to break it down to the practical. Like, what does that actually mean for them today?
Right.
And what will that action today mean for them in a couple of years?
Now we have you listed out at the bottom of the screen, consciouscollegeplanning.com, correct? 847-254-9541. Get a hold of Jackie, find out what you guys can do. Never hurts to have a conversation. Jackie, I appreciate that. I know you're at the 1 o'clock marker.
Yes.
So I'm gonna let you go do it. Thanks for coming.
Nice.
Appreciate it.
Nice to meet you. Good to see you as always.
Oh, yeah. Anytime I get to see you is awesome. Thank you. Oh, man, Phil, it's just nonstop here.
Fantastic.
In and out, in and out. I still yet am trying to interview a child, but they're at the hot dogs and then they run away.
Right.
And so
And they're gonna go get interviewed by Jackie. So
now they're going to listen to the planning part. And we got till 2 o'clock. So, do we continue to go live?
she's going from 1 to 2.
I don't want to be interrupted for that, correct? I guess real quick because she has to go started quite yet. What's going on? She's talking. He's got a cool little invention that he's doing over there. We have a police officer outside that wanted to talk. I mean, there's so many. It's like we ran out of time, right? It went way too fast. Way too fast. All right.
That's what a good time looks like.
You know what though? It is. This is fun. I want to do more events. This is part of our new show. Let's talk local. Doing local events.
What I love about your platform and just my time of knowing you in this past year-ish time frame is every time, keeping it with the nerd stuff, every time I'm with you, I meet a new Avenger.
Oh yeah. No, for sure.
I'm sitting there like, okay,
For sure.
that's Cap, that's over here, like this person.
Mike Crazy, plumber extraordinaire. He's into the home design stuff and plumbing, but also years of kung fu studies that has been part of the kung fu world for how long, Mike?
8 years.
8 years. 8 years. I've never seen this man get rattled. He's just so zen to everything. I'm like, I'm angry for you. And he's like, well, it's just another day.
You guys got cool martial arts stories. You're talking about how you were into it. You did 8 years of kung fu. I got into martial arts because I was so bad at basketball. When I was young, my layups would hit the backboard and go higher. That my mom gave me the sympathy pat and like, basketball's not for you.
Oh,
Let's put you in karate.
No.
So then the sensei guy doesn't appreciate my work. because I'm saving the world because I'm a Ninja Turtle.
That's right.
He tells on me.
Oh,
Bro, I just bought the Foot Clan for you. So that's why I got back to basketball. That's my martial arts.
yes, the man of the hour.
How are you?
You want to grab a seat? Say hi to the folks. Oh, the other guy, huh? You're only for the radio side. Okay. Yeah, go get him.
Thank you so much.
Hey, young man, how's the hot dogs? Good. You come here to the mathnasium to do math and stuff? You want to take 5? Grab a seat, man. Let's get you on camera.
All right.
So we're going live here. We're at 216 Creator Studios. We're at the mathnasium. We're live on all the platforms. What is it?
Meet you, Renveer.
Renveer? Renveer actually comes here to the mathnasium. Just give us a 2-second. How do you like it here? What are your thoughts?
It's good. I mean, all the instructors help you out. You get help with your homework. I guess you just learn more and you just get better at that.
So what's the big dream? What do you want to do when you grow
I
up?
want to be a doctor.
You want to be a doctor when you grow up?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought he said he was going to be a podcaster. I got excited. No, not that. And doctors are down that way. So, no, that's awesome, man. We need some good doctors out there.
Yeah.
You know, just find a doctor that takes all the health insurance. Right?
What school are you in?
Holy high school.
Oh, you're at Holy High.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any sports?
I'm going to do tennis instead.
Nice. Tennis. Do you do tennis?
I do not. I'm not very good at that one.
He's not tall enough for basketball. So.
Table tennis.
Oh, ping pong.
Yeah.
Ping pong.
And it's like not golf. No. Mini golf, however. Nice.
Awesome. So you having a good time today?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what have you checked out here since you've been here for the fest?
Obviously, the doctor's there
Oh, you went right to the doctor stand. Nice.
and the hot dogs.
And the hot dogs. How are the hot dogs? Pretty good.
Yeah.
Are they saving me any hot dogs? Or
That more than enough.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's ever more than enough, Mike, when it comes to hot dogs.
Yeah.
But awesome. We appreciate you, brother. Thanks for joining us.
I've been there a couple years down the road for a doctor in the area.
That's right. We're getting a hold of you. Take care. Thanks for joining us. All right. So what do we got? Fire rescue here? Everybody's hiding there.
Everybody's
There's a
tagging
bunch of uniforms standing in front of me, and you're already on camera, so it doesn't matter. So come on through. I don't want to interrupt Jackie's presentation, so I'm trying to squeeze everybody in before we shut down. Yeah. So we just had a huge fan of the doctor side of things, right? Renveer.
Dr. Renveer.
Yeah. That's what he wants to be. I told him to make sure he takes all the insurance plans.
Yeah.
So what kind of advice can you give to the kids today?
Sure. Well, I would say a lot of advice, specifically in regards to medicine, is just trying out everything that you want. So for me, I actually went into college thinking I was going to be a pharmacist. But later on, I kind of experienced pharmacy through a retail perspective, through a research perspective, and I kind of figured out it wasn't me. And so then when I got an experience as a medical assistant, I got to work with doctors, got to work with patients, and it was able to see that this is kind of the area that I wanted to be more involved with. And so I would recommend for all students to just get hands-on experience, whether that's shadowing, whether that's internships.
I love it.
Work. That would be probably the biggest thing that I would recommend.
That's excellent. Excellent advice. It's okay to pivot.
Yes.
It's okay to pivot, right?
Yes.
So everybody's getting quiet except the guy in behind the mic. Are we interrupted now for the presentation? Oh, okay. I appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much.
Of course.
I'm gonna let her get onto her presentation, and without any interruption,
We chant his name.
Thank you.
we can't. Okay. Who's Hoover? Where are you? Last one of the day. Last one. 2 seconds of your time. Okay. First two things you have to do is you got to put the sunglasses back on to show what a real fire rescue team looks like in today's society. 1985 came back. This is the new style of today. My man, looking good.
There you go.
So it's Austin. Is that correct?
Yes.
Austin, I'm Drew. This is Bill Wallace.
What's up, brother? How are you?
Nice to meet you as well. You take the glasses off now. You don't. She's going to start a presentation. So, quick advice: where you're at today, what advice would you give the kids today to doing what you do?
That's obvious. Follow your dreams. This is exactly what I want to do.
Never stop. Never stop following your dreams.
Every step of my life has been working towards this.
That's awesome. That's all.
Medical school, firefighting, all just leading me up to this.
Yep. Did you have a hard time figuring out that that's what you wanted to do, and what guided you to that?
Both my parents were firefighters. My mom was actually a firefighter here. So basically, just they would come home from work and smell the fire on them and all that stuff. And just
Hey, you fell right into the footsteps.
13 years old, smelling that, I was like, "This is awesome." So
That's cool.
so,
That's cool.
and then you'd hear all the stories, obviously, all the cool stuff they had to do back in the day, stuff like that. So
So, are you're Algonquin?
yes.
Okay, cool. Listen, I don't want to take up your time. She's got a presentation going. I appreciate your time joining us today. Let's talk about a show into the near future called Fired Up by the Algonquin Firefighter. Stories of the Algonquin
Just know that
Firefighter.
none of your buddies volunteer. All of them threw you under the bus. I forced to tell you
Yeah.
that man to man.
They're true friends, and they probably make you do all the cooking at the house.
Just
I know you guys are cooking today.
I got you.
I know that you trust them. They threw you under the bus.
I trust them on the job. I don't really trust them with anything else. But
Let's pick some time. We'll get together and come back to the studio, and then we'll have more of a chat.
good to me.
Awesome, man. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. All right, guys. Well, we don't want to be interruptive here. Thanks for joining us here at Feature here at the Mathnasium in Algonquin. Great time, great food, great people, great network,
Great resources.
great resources, man.
So many great resources.
And we had Phil. I mean, that's all you ever really need is a Phil Wallace on your show.
Cappuccino. Now we're talking to that late night radio voice as we sign off here. 21.
Oh yeah. Hey, everybody, just remember, be good, be great, help others. Drew Cappuccino, Phil Wallace, 21-6 Creator Studios. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Love you guys.